Hey guys, how we doing? Welcome to Lee's Slot Cars for another little update on the layout. Now, what I'm going to do today is put a building in the under track section. I've got a couple there already that I made previously on the old layout, and I've slotted those in, and that works quite well. But I've got a nice little space for a building, and I'm going to be working on that today. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be working on a new building to go along this section here. So we've got Lee's Slot Car merchandise, the coffee bar, and there's a nice little gap in there. Now, at some point, I'm going to fit an LED light on top here, but I've got to get all the wiring sorted out. I'm going to make a foam board insert that hopefully will slide into there, and then I have the entrance part that I've painted up that will sit over the front. So I mean, it's going to be a food outlet of some sort, isn't it? Because it lends itself, it's a container front, you know, from there you go, from the containers, the ones that Andy sent me. So it's going to have a roof up, and then we're going to get the insert, decorate all that so it's like a cafe, and it'll probably be a takeaway thing, so it'll be more sort of tables and benches that Magnetic Racing gave me. So all the interior is going to be dressed up and made to look good, and then eventually, as with this and this, I need to get lights in there to get these three lit up. So what I'm going to do first of all is measure up this section and make the insert. So I've measured up the size of the insert that's going to go into that position. It's 16 centimetres across, 7.5 centimetres high. So I've cut out the back and sides portion here, just scored it so I can bend it, and now this is going to sit on the base. So I've measured out the size of the sides on the back onto the base, and now we shall just score over. Now I do need a new Stanley knife blade actually, but this should do the job. Foam board supplies are getting seriously low, but well, that's easily remedied by popping to Hobbycraft and picking up a few more. So anyway, that's the base. Excuse me. And what we shall do is get the hot glue gun out and turn it up that way, stick that on there, and then you will have the sort of base structure to slot in. So I'm going to get the hot glue and get this stuck on. Right, I've decided that before I put the sides onto the base, before I glue it on, I'm actually just going to paint the top section, because it's a lot easier to do it when you can lie it flat than when it is sort of stuck in place. And if I can make things easier or do things in an easier way, then I sure as hell am going to do that. Right, that's quite a thick coat of paint there. So I'm going to have to get the trusty old hairdryer out. And yes, I know I've heard all the jokes about me having a hairdryer and having no hair. Okay, so let's give this a quick blow, shall we? I used to have hair back in the day. I actually had a bit of a spiky mullet cut, long at the back, short spiky on top. I used to think I looked really cool, but when I look at photos now, I think I look a bit of a prat. But there you go. When you're young, you do these things, don't you? Well, I did. Anyway. Okay, that should be just about dry enough to stick down now, I think. And if it's not, I'll pause the camera and do it again, because you don't want to sit there watching me dry and paint, do you? Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, we'll call that paint dry. I'm now thinking maybe I should paint the base before I glue this on. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to turn the camera off while I do it, because it's not going to be very interesting. So when I come back, I'll have this bit painted here, the base section painted. I'm just going to paint it a base grey, and then we'll get this bit stuck on. Right, well, just giving it a coat of grey and dried it off. So I'm just going to pop some dabs of hot glue along the back, and then I don't know if my head is in the way of the camera. It probably is. So I'm going to stick the back section in first of all, and then just to complete it, I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on the end here. It doesn't have to be glued all the way down, so that will stick on like that. And then we'll take the other side round. And stick that on there. Just wipe off any excess. And then hopefully that's all stuck, which it is, and that will form the inside of whatever I decide this is going to be. So in terms of decoration for this, I will put some tables in, some benches, a couple of figures that are busy working in there. I've got a load of figures that Dave from Slot R gave me, so I can get some of those painted up and put in here, so they're a bit more up to date than the other 1950s versions that I've got. So this is coming on nicely. Next thing I need to know is if this actually fits in the slot, whether I've measured it correctly. There, it fits a tree. So the interior is now slotted in its place, and then the front portion will sit snugly just there. Looks really cool, actually. That's really good. I'm happy with that. And then this can either lift up or stay down, depending whether open or closed. Don't like that. Might have to do something about that, because you can see the wall and you can see the door. Do you know what it'll have to do? We'll have to keep the door closed, but in general it fits fine. I'm quite happy with that. I've got a door and a window that slot into there. I was just waiting till this is dry, so I'll put them back. So now I can take this all out and start working on the interior, as in this bit. Right, I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute. Now we know that it fits. So what I've got some tables and benches. Now this was part of a magnetic racing kit that they kindly sent me, so I'm going to use one of the benches. I think I might use two, don't know. So we'll glue this on first. Yeah, nice and central. Trying very hard not to glue my fingers to it, because I'm very clumsy and I tend to make a habit of gluing myself to things. And before I glue the table legs in, I'm just going to check that they fit in okay. Whether I need to just trim anything before I do it. In fact, I might not even be able to glue it. I might not even have to glue it because they fit in fairly tight without any glue. Let's have a look. Yeah, maybe it does need a spot of glue on there. I've gone quiet because I'm concentrating. I might pop a little bit of glue on. Just a touch of glue on there. And the tables, I don't think I'm going to paint them because I really like the natural colour. So I will probably not paint these, but I'll probably paint the top because obviously it's a catering establishment, so it will need to be stainless steel, of course. So I probably will paint it. Yeah, let's paint the top. This is the grey that I've had mixed up for ages, and it varies in colour and shade because I don't particularly wash the brushes out too well. Quite like it that the colours all blend in together. So we'll give this a coat of grey to start off with, and it's just picking up just a tiny bit of whatever colour was on this brush beforehand, but I don't mind that actually. I quite like things not to look too uniform. Well, I'm saying that. I'm only saying that because it hides my imperfections. But there you go. Okay. Now I could dry this and go over with a little bit of silver, but I don't think I'll need to in this case. I think for the purpose of this building, that is just fine. And then you know what comes next? Yeah, of course. There you go, paint done and dried. And then this will go in here, and it can be like a food preparation area. So the front door is going to be here. You've got the serving hatch here, so I'm going to need some sort of table back there, I think. And I might even put another couple of tables in, and then with a coffee machine on, because Dave from Slot Heart has sent me a 3D printed coffee machine and some tiny coffee cups that I still don't know how the hell I'm gonna, first of all, get them off the sprue, and secondly get them painted, but I'll give it a good go, you know me. So I'm going to put together a couple more benches and tables, get the top painted and get them put in here, and then we'll come back. I'll get them glued into place. Right, so we now have the the bench that's going to have the coffee machine and the cups on. We've got food preparation bench, we've got shelf, and another table at the back. I'm going to keep these natural colour because, like I say, I like it, and this will be the food prep area. So all in all, it's coming on very well. So I'm going to grab a cup of coffee and then carry on. Right, I've got the coffee machine in there now. Yeah, just about to say it. It's really good actually, Dave Slotter. If you're watching this, it's actually really good. The painting's not as great as I would have liked, but yeah, it works. The hardest bit was the cups, because I've had to take, let's focus in on that, I've had to take them all off the sprue, and they are tiny. I mean, just to give you an idea, look, there's a blade to see how small they are. Get them all painted and glued onto, well, we're going to call this a tray, shall we? And then I'm going to pop the tray onto the section beside the coffee maker, and we're getting there. Over here you can see we've got a, oh, where's my finger, there is a little food waste bin over there. Yeah, I think it's looking all right actually. I think once it's in position, you've got a guy standing there serving, and you've got a little light in there, which is going to cause me all sorts of problems, but I'm going to do it today just so we can get this little project finished and move on to the next one. And I think we're getting there. There was also the little bit, do you remember when I put the front on, there was a little bit of this foam board poking through, so I need to do something with that, and I might cover it with a bit of 3mm MDF, and we'll call it like a menu board. Yes, that might work. Anyway, let's get this glued on, and then we'll move on to the lighting. There we go. Now we've got some staff in there. We've got the mugs on the tray next to the coffee machine, and it's a bit Walter White like, that figure there. He's having a coffee break. But in terms of the interior, I could do more. I could put loads of stuff on the shelves and things like that, but you're not going to get a great view into there. So I think in terms of the interior, I'm happy with that. What do you think? Yeah, oh look, that's a painting I'm working on. Work in progress. Anyway, I digress. Right, anyway, as I said before, onto the lighting. And there we have it. The little roadside cafe is open for business. Yeah, I'm very happy with how that's turned out actually. Got a light in there. That was fiddly as hell trying to do that. I've patched this up by putting some pictures of some little beer bottles, so yeah, that's worked out okay. So you can grab a bottle of beer while you're there as well. So I think I really like that. It actually fits in a treat. Shutter comes down at the end of the day, and really pleased. So the next thing I have to do, excuse me, is to get a light put in these two, which I can feed from that, so that's not going to be too bad now. And then there will be a building going in here. There's a little slot here that I can use something. That could be maybe toilets. I think someone suggested a while ago, really sorry, I can't remember who it was, suggested putting in a door over here, which I haven't quite got around to finishing, but putting a door there and making that an entrance, and that's sort of made use of that visually. But that will be this side coming along nicely, and then there's all this, look, there's loads. These will probably stay there in some form, but I've got to do all the groundworks, so to speak, just there, and I need to do a car park entrance of some sort. And then over here, this looks okay. I've painted a little bit like a crazy paving effect on the footpath, and that's not too bad. And then over here, well, this is where all the corpses are at the minute. And I keep working my way through the figures. Every time I get a colour paint out, I'll paint a little bit, but I need to get these done. And here, yeah, she's coming along nicely. So is her fella. So loads and loads of work to do. This is going to keep me busy for a long time. But I think for the purpose of this video, I'm going to call it a day. Building is complete. And as fiddly as it was, I really enjoyed doing it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I have to say, I'm getting very close to 1,000 subscribers now. So I need to start thinking about what I can do when I hit that magical number. But anyway, that's one for the future. Thanks for watching, guys. You all take care, my friends. Bye bye now.